In 2001, we broke ground here at Glacial Lakes Energy Watertown. 2002, we became operational, and we are owned by the Glacial Lakes Corn Processors, which is a South Dakota cooperative. We're comprised of over 4,200 members, primarily in South Dakota and primarily farmers. Later in 2005, we did a small expansion, and again we expanded in 2006. We also built Glacial Lakes Energy Mina, which is located near Mina, South Dakota, in between Mina and Ipswich. Both facilities are 100 million gallon production facilities.
I've been CEO at Glacial Lakes Energy since 2008, and we buy upwards of 85 million bushels of corn. Our trade area is from the Missouri River on the west side to western Minnesota, from roughly Highway 14 in central South Dakota all the way into North Dakota, southern North Dakota, maybe as far as the interstate in North Dakota. So very, very large trade area. We have the two production facilities. We own a portion of Redfield Energy in Redfield, South Dakota, and a portion of Granite Falls Energy in Granite Falls, Minnesota.
Glacial Lakes Energy Corn Processors is a South Dakota cooperative, and so we actually have, anyone can be a member of GLCP. You just have to purchase stock, which we do trade actively. And when you purchase stock, that makes you a member of the corn processors. As a member, and because we're organized as a cooperative, you have a commitment to deliver bushels of corn to our facility each year. And each year our board sets that commitment based on our production.
You know, as a processor of locally grown corn, and that's really what we do. We take, as I mentioned, 85 million bushels of corn at our two facilities, and we process 240 million gallons of ethanol, fuel-grade ethanol, and hundreds of thousands of tons of distillers feed. We see it as a value enhancement process. It's a homegrown energy source. It's jobs. We employ roughly 110 employees between the two facilities. So for us, it's all about national security. It's about rural development, and it's about clean air. Ethanol is a cleaner burning fuel than your traditional fossil fuels, and we just think that it's the best rural development opportunity that's come along in a long time. So we obviously have one goal in mind, and that's to get our country more dependent on a locally grown, homegrown fuel than on foreign oil sources. Obviously, we tend to support those organizations. Glacial Lakes Energy supports those organizations that further that mission. And when we learned about farm rescue, when we looked into it further, we just felt like this was a perfect overlay for our trade area, for our mission. Look, these are the producers that we deal with on a day in and day out basis that because of tragedy or sickness or whatever it is, that we feel like that our mission is to come to their aid too, because they actually allow us to and provide us the feedstock for our products.
We came to know about Farm Rescue because we received a flyer in the mail, and I went into Jim and asked him what he thought about the program.
At that point, we coincidentally, was aware through some of the local news media that there were active cases that were publicized, and it occurred to me that those cases were producers, corn producers and livestock men and families that were right in our trade area. And the more we looked, we went to the website, we saw some of the testimonials, the more we found out, the more we felt that this was just a perfect fit for our organization. And we're not a majority-owned corporation. We're a corporation comprised of individual shareholders that are directly connected to agriculture, and we just felt like this was a perfect fit for our board. So the board did approve support of the program and in a major way, and continue to do that. This is our second year, and we just continue to feel that this is a very, very worthy program and assistance to those in need. On a personal level, there was assistance provided to a gentleman in Hoven. It was at a critical time in his life where you know, that it was just one less thing that he had to worry about. Obviously, an individual that's very proud, little bit stubborn, refused the assistance. For those of us in the community or in the area that knew him, we were pushing him that direction. Finally, we got some others to reach out on his behalf, and just, you know, when the tractor showed up, it was unbelievable. I wasn't there, but I heard about it, and it was really something to see that assistance go his direction, and you know, really took a load off his mind at that point in his life, and you know, went from just this burden of work that needed to be done to all done in a matter of days, and so from that perspective, not necessarily right there when it happened, but certainly very, very close, and heard a number of individuals talk about the assistance that was provided to him out in that area. Well, everything I've heard about the volunteers, and it comes primarily through, you know, again, the cases that I've heard about, not only out in the Hoven area, but also the testimonials on the websites. I've watched a lot of different videos on the website, and just sounds like the program draws a wide array of backgrounds and individuals that really want to do some charity work and be close to these kinds of situations, and just a group of superb individuals and volunteers and folks that are willing to give it all. And from what I understand, they come from all walks of life, from rural areas, retired farmers, to all the way to folks that reside in cities and just, you know, want to experience that way of life. So very interesting that this program attracts that type of individual. So top-notch individuals that help out these people in need.
I would encourage other businesses, regardless if you are connected to the ag industry or not, to join Farm Rescue. The farmers of America, you know, they keep the food on our tables, they impact our economy, and when we have someone in need, it affects all of us, whether we realize it or not. And we are very proud to sponsor Farm Rescue. It's a great program that helps people who are in need, and it's just a really good program. I encourage anybody to join.
And I would echo that. Not only do they put the food on our tables, but now they put the fuel in our tanks. And so I would echo the support. I think if you're a business out there and in rural America, and I see that Farm Rescue is now in 5 states, and you've recently moved into Iowa, I would encourage anybody that does business in those states in some way, shape, or fashion. Your livelihood is connected to agriculture, and certainly would look for those businesses to step up and support the folks that make it possible for them to have business in these areas. So, including other ethanol plants, I would challenge other ethanol plants and those that are closest to agriculture to step up and let's keep this going. Let's make it possible that we can serve even more and expand to even further areas. I would encourage all farm families, look, we all get to a point where we need assistance, whether it's you know, health assistance, whatever kind of assistance. I would say to any farm family that's facing some of the challenges that you face in trying to get us the product and allow us to take your product and be there to purchase your product or sell you our product, to look at this program as not necessarily a handout, but a hand up. And that would, you know, that it just it's a volunteer organization. It's made up of volunteers. It's for a good end means. There's nobody you know, looking at this. It's certainly there's no negative connotations associated with it whatsoever, and just some great people to work with. And as a sponsor of this program, we would expect that folks would step up and use it when they need it. So we continue to be very supportive of it, and certainly want as many folks as necessary to use this. And we think that's going to drive more support, and it's also going to drive more need. And we want to get to those farm families that are out there that are facing challenges in their everyday lives.
In 1996, my dad was ran over by a tractor in Baylor, and it broke his hip, his clavicle bone, and basically laid him up for a good year right during haying season. And I wish Farm Rescue would have been around then, because he needed the help and he knew it, but he was very prideful and couldn't accept that he couldn't go out there and do it himself. And the neighbors came over and they did it for him, but he knew that they had other things to do too, which bothered him probably more. So my message would be, if you are that neighbor, don't be afraid to call Farm Rescue, because I know if someone would have done it, my dad would have gladly taken it. He may have not called, but he would have accepted the help.
I guess I just want to thank Bill Gross and for being the founder of this fine organization. As we were deciding to support the organization, I've taken a great interest in some of the videos that are out there, and Bill is a UPS pilot, and certainly I'm sure that there's time for him to reflect on different things. We don't always reflect this globally. I think individually we tend to know who needs assistance and we're there for them, but Bill has gone above and beyond on this one, and the organization continues to grow, and it does great things. It makes us feel good. It is a good cause, and thank you, Bill, for you know, starting this organization and making it successful.